Good morning, students. Today we are starting again our online class, and today we start our section with a new topic, that is photometry. And I think you all enjoyed your Onam holiday amid of this panic corona crisis. And I have actually planned for a meet together among all the classmates of you during that Onam holidays, but unexpectedly, because of some personal inconvenience, I can't arrange such an get together among you. So anyway, we can have such a get together among you all within a span of 2 or 3 days. In that way, we can meet each other and can share our experiences and our whereabouts during the Onam holidays. Okay, I think that's very fine. Anyway, we can start our topic for today, that is photometry. What is photometry? Photometry, what is its definition? It is a science of measurement of light. How we are measuring the light? In terms of its perceived brightness to the human eye. How much bright it to the human eye. In that aspect, we are measuring light. So, photometry is that branch of science of measurement of light. How? In terms of perceived brightness to the human eye. That is photometry. So, suppose there is a solution taken in some test tube or anything like that, and a beam of light is hit or passing through that solution, and as it passes through that solution, certain wavelength get absorbed, and only the remaining amount of light is transmitted through the solution to the outside. So there will be some change in the intensity of light. That change with regard to the incident light and the transmitted light, that is measuring in photometry. So I think the basic thing in photometry is that through a solution, a monochromatic light is passing, and certain amount of that wavelength of light is absorbed by the component parts of the solution, and the rest of it is transmitted to us out. Okay, so next slide. Then there is an absorptive maximum. We have to understand the term absorptive maximum. For all compound, there is a maximum absorption level for a particular at a particular wavelength. For each particular wavelength, there is a maximum level of absorption for every compound. That maximum absorbable absorbable value with regard to each wavelength is called absorptive maximum. Understand? It's a wavelength. At that particular wavelength, for each compound, it can absorb maximum intensity of light. So, in the case of each and every compound, there is a particular wavelength is there. When light is coming in that particular wavelength, that particular compound can absorb maximum of its intensity, maximum of its wavelength. Understand? So, once more I will repeat, for any all particular compound, there will be some wavelength. At that wavelength, if the light is coming and passing through that compound in that particular wavelength, that wavelength is optimum for that compound. If the light is coming in that particular wavelength, that compound can absorb maximum of that light. So, for all compound, there is such a wavelength. That wavelength, that value is called absorptive maximum. Understand? Okay, next principle of photometry. What is the principle of photometry that we can is possible to ask for your examination? So actually photometry is measuring the transmittance. So we need to understand what is transmittance. Transmittance means the ability to transmit. How much light is transmitted out? How much light is transmitted out after passing through the solution? That amount is actually measuring in photometry. So there is an equation. Intensity of emergent light. Emergent light means the coming out light from the solution after passing through that. Intensity of emergent light to that of intensity of incident light. And its value ranges from 0 to 100. Okay. Then, what about the influence of concentration on this value transmittance? It's very simple. Upon mere common sense, we can understand that as the concentration of any solution increase. So concentration increase means that its ingredients content is more. As the ingredient content constituent parts of the that solution is more, then that solution is called highly concentrated. And when a monochromatic light pass through such a solution, since there is so much particles, so much amount of light will be absorbed by that solution, and only very less will be transmitted out. So how the solution concentration affect the value of transmittance? As the solution concentration increase, transmittance value decrease. So we can say that some transmittance value is inversely proportional to solution concentration. Okay, next another term we have to understand here is absorbance. Absorbance means what? Absorbance value always it is directly proportional to solution concentration. As the solution's concentration is high, then it can absorb that much amount of light. So absorbance level is directly proportional to solution concentration. So what is the purpose of finding the absorption value? Upon finding the absorption value, we can determine the concentration of a solution. As the absorption value is high, we can assess that the solution is much concentrated. There is an equation for absorbance. Log 1 by T is equal to Le by LO. Here, where T is the transmittance and where T is the transmittance and L is the emergent light, LO is the incident light. Okay. Next, this absorbance have no units. Actually, the photometric instruments, they convert the measured value of transmittance to absorbance value. The value it got as part of transmittance. That value, that instrument is electrically converting to value of absorbance. There are two laws, fundamental laws are there for the working of photometry. First is Beer's law. What is Beer's law? Suppose a parallel beam of monochromatic light is there. It is passing through a solution. What is happening? Depending upon the concentration, some amount of light get absorbed by the solution. Absorbance happens, and that absorbance extent, how much absorption happens, that is directly proportional to the concentration of that solution. This is the Beer's law. Beer's law states that whenever a parallel beam of monochromatic light passes through the solution, then its absorbance level is directly proportional to the concentration. As the concentration increases, the absorbance also will increase. It is stating in this Beer's law. Next, one more fundamental law in photometry, that is Lambert's law. Have you ever heard about these two laws, Beer's law and Lambert's law? Anyway, we can see it now. Lambert's law means it is a comparating law. Actually, this is solution 1 and this is solution 2. And a monochromatic light is passing through, allow a monochromatic light to pass through both these type of test tube samples. And in both cases, absorbance happens. But here one difference. Here the path of light is very less when compared to here. Here this much distance is there for the light to travel. Here only this much distance. So it's very simple. It is logic to understand that as there is a very less distance to pass for the light, only that much absorbance happens here. But here this much distance have to be traveled by the light. So that much absorbance can happen here. So as the length of the path increases, absorbance value will increase. As the thickness of the, in other way we can say that as the thickness of the solution increases, the absorbance level also increase. So when comparing these two, which solution have more absorbance? This solution, because the distance or the length of path of light is more for solution 2 and also the thickness. In two way we can express. So absorbance is directly proportional to thickness or length of light path to the solution. Next slide. Then we can state that law in a combined fashion. Beer's Lambert's law. Beer's, I need to tell it's Beer's. Beer's Lambert's law. Intensity of a beam of monochromatic light passing through a solution decreases with increase its concentration and thickness. The next is the derivation of its equation. A is directly proportional to C. A means absorbance. Absorbance is directly proportional to concentration. That is according to Beer's law. That's equation 1. And A is directly proportional to L. L means length of light, path of light. Absorbance is directly proportional to the length of path of light. As it increases, absorbance also increases. That is Lambert's law. We can combine these two laws. This is A is equal to epsilon 1 Cl. C for concentration, L is equal to light path, and epsilon 1 is the molar absorption coefficient. What is molar absorption coefficient? It is a specific value. It is specific for each substance at a given wavelength. For each wavelength, there is that value is specific for each substance. In other ways, we can explain it as it is the absorbance of or by 1 molar concentrated solution with 1 centimeter light path. If a 1 molar concentration solution is taken in a 1 centimeter width container, and 1 centimeter with light path. Then what will be its absorption? That value we can tell it as molar absorption coefficient. What is molar absorption coefficient? It is absorbance by 1 molar concentration solution with 1 centimeter light path. Then derivation of the equation. How can we find the concentration of an unknown solution? This is the equation. We are going to derive the equation to find out the concentration of unknown solution. That is actually we are going to do with the photometry. So we need to derive that equation. Absorbance of test sample. In the photometry, there will be test samples, there will be standard sample and blank samples. Absorbance of test sample. What would be the absorbance level of test sample? A T is equal to epsilon 1 into concentration of test, that is Ct into 1. Then absorbance of standard sample A is equal to epsilon into concentration of test Cs into 1. And this can be written as concentration of test Ct, concentration of test Ct is equal to, we have to find out the concentration of test solution. Equation is coming, absorbance of test sample cross multiplication. Test sample At divided by absorbance of standard sample As, commonly multiplied by concentration of standard. This is the equation. This is the main part. This is the equation to find out the concentration of test solution. We have to find out two values, absorbance value of test sample and also absorbance value of standard sample. And you have to multiply that ratio with concentration of standard sample. In that way, we can understand the concentration of the test solution. To another term we have to understand is light path. Usually it is kept constant in photometry, that is about 1 centimeter. Light path means that width, that thickness of the container or place where we are filling or taking that solution. So in photometry, some special apparatus, special containers are there to contain the solution. Its name is cuvette and its diameter is 1 centimeter. And in photometry there will be a standard solution is there. It's called a calibrator, for correcting the reading. That its concentration of that standard solution is known. So this is a standard solution. This is a test solution. We have to find out the concentration of the test solution. How we are finding? Which first check absorbance value for the solution, absorbance value of standard solution, and after that we are comparing the absorbance value of test solution with the standard and interpreting the concentration of the test solution by substituting the values in the equation that I explained to you just before in the former slide. Okay. Usually, a series of standards are prepared to obtain a standard curve. Using the entire procedure of photometry, we are not keeping only one standard. We are actually maintaining so many standard solution with different concentration to obtain a curve, a standard curve to get correct accurate value. So next we are going to see a video about the all things that I have explained to you. In this video you can understand in the photometry which are the different parts, how it is working, everything. So let's go and see that.
In this video, we are going to discuss the single beam photometer. Let's start with the principle. The single beam photometer follows the Beer-Lambert's law to determine the concentration of an unknown sample. The absorption of light by a reference sample, an unknown sample is used to obtain the value of unknown. As seen in the diagram, we can start with the construction of this instrument.
ഇതിൽ നമ്മൾ അതിന്റെ പാർട്സ് കാണാൻ പോകണം.
The basic components of a single beam filter photometer are a light source, an absorption or an interference filter. It is called a photometer because the device that is used for isolating the wavelengths here is a filter. A cuvette is used as a sample holder and a photoemissive or a photovoltaic cell acts as a
Using this photo cell, actually we are recording the transmittance light is detected by this photo cell, and corresponding with that intensity of transmitted light it makes a corresponding value in the galvanometer between 0 and 100, and that value equals to the level of absorbance.
The detector. The source of light generally used is a black body source, like a tungsten filament lamp. When the filament like tungsten is heated, it starts emitting radiations in the visible region. These radiations act as a source of light for the instrument. An intensity control circuit is used to vary the voltage supply to the tungsten filament lamp. By varying the supply, one can change the intensity. Care should be taken to keep the lamp intensity constant for the duration of the experiment. The next component is a filter. It can be a basic absorption filter made of material like colored glass, colored gelatin paper, or even a colored solution.
Types of filters are used.
Interested viewers can go and check our exclusive video on filters. The link for the same is given in the description. The other filter that can be used is an interference filter. The detectors that can be used in a single beam photometer can be a photoemissive cell or a photovoltaic cell. Again, interested viewers can check.
Detectors means the device helps to detect the transmitted light after passing through the solution contained in the cuvette.
Check the video on detectors. You can find the links in the description. The detector gives the reading of light intensity. Now let us understand the working of this instrument. As discussed in the principle, it is required to take readings of a standard reference sample for calibration purposes. The light from the source falls on the solution placed in the cuvette. Here, a part of light is absorbed and remaining part is transmitted. This transmitted light falls on the detector, which produces photocurrent proportional to the light intensity. This photocurrent enters the galvanometer where readings are displayed. The instrument is operated in the following steps. Initially, the detector is darkened and galvanometer is.
From here you have to attend very carefully. This is the initial step he going to explain now.
Adjusted mechanically to read 0. Now, a reference solution or blank solution is kept in the sample holder. The
First we are setting up the apparatus. For that, first we are putting a blank solution here. Blank solution means there is no solute particles inside. It's blank. So there is no chance for absorption of any amount of light as it passes through this blank solution. So whatever the intensity of the light that falls on it, the same intensity is transmitting to the photocell, and we will get a maximum value here. So that's about the blank solution.
light transmitted from this solution is made to fall on the detector. The intensity of light source is adjusted using the intensity control circuit such that the galvanometer shows 100% transmission. Once this calibration is done, the readings for standard sample and unknown sample are taken, and the concentration of unknown sample is.
After making that setup of that calibration, first without any solution, we got a 0 value, and after that we place a blank solution and we obtain a value equal to 100 in the galvanometer. After setting that, we are putting that standard solution, and we got a value. Against value means the value of absorbance for that standard solution. There's a particular value, and next we are taking back that standard solution and putting that test solution in that in the cuvette, and the process is repeating, and for that test solution also we get a value for the absorbance in the galvanometer. In that way, we got all the values sufficient to put on that equation to find out the concentration of test solution. By substituting all the values in that equation, we can find the concentration of the test solution.
Is found out using the formula: the concentration of unknown sample equals the concentration of reference sample multiplied by the ratio of the unknown readings to the reference readings.
So with this, we can wind up today's class. Thank you.